Hello there. This is Marcio Galli, and today this is now 2026, and I'm recording a this presentation as an overview to for me it's a reflection about Weplex, the company that I am executing, and and I think it's part of the reflection to help out with what's next in terms of activities for this first quarter of 2026. Okay, so it's a general overview of Weplex, the communications assistant, and but in this one, it's more like a narrative, okay, about the origins, because to some extent, like a post-mortem, but it's a good thing, you're killing something to create something new. But of course, we're not killing anything, right? We're just learning with the past, with successes from the past as well, to do it better as we move forward, right? So let me first, in this presentation, go through the path here that took me to Weplex, okay? Since the style of this presentation is narrative. So I'm the founder of Weplex, and before, in terms of well-known organizations, I always, I am a web developer, or a web designer, webmaster in the past. And then I became an evangelist. So I came from, in terms of the being an evangelist in the web as a builder. I came from the University of São Paulo in Brazil. Studied computer science between 1993 and 2000. I took an extra uh, few years more there. It was difficult to leave, and then when I left, I went to Netscape AOL in Silicon Valley, and I stayed in the US for 5 years. Then I returned to Brazil, working for Mozilla, and the creators of Firefox. From 2000, so 2020, 2005, Netscape, American Online, and then I worked also for Yahoo. I had to return to Brazil in 2005. Between 2005 and 2010, I started as a full time equivalent for Mozilla, and then I was moving towards being a founder. Okay, in 2010, I made a decision, and then I created Telesocial. And so the image that I see on the right, that you see on the right hand side, is an example of a what I call the social screen. So I created this startup, this technology company, to bring screens, social screens, to spaces. And that's one of the best use cases of we had back in the days, where the Science Park in Brazil, they installed 25 screens, to some extent replacing the paper boards with direct information from the web, no ads. Of course, it's a science park, bringing Twitter information, information from Instagram, information from the blog, 24 by 7. All right. Of course, using browser web based technologies there. On the way of throughout this trajectory, I also end up being involved with this patent, which is today owned by Google. It's the title is System Method for Seamlessly Bringing External Services into Instant Messaging Session. Okay, that was a work I did for American Online, together with colleagues back in 2003, and then much later became a real patent for, and today is owned by Google. Okay. By the way, so the point that I'm trying to make is instant messaging services is something that I always enjoyed. Actually, the fact that I worked for Yahoo had to do with that as well. Okay. So I came from the web, but I moved towards instant messaging. All right. And of course, communications with the case of the social dashboard. But then in 2019, after Telesocial and other attempts to make us startups in the field of communications, I stumbled in a situation here. Right? So it's this thing was called Weplex back then was Meplex. It was basically supporting professionals with site and marketing. But it started not with an intention to make a startup. I was helping Vanessa and she was helping myself. And we didn't want to make a business out of that. I was just helping her. But I wanted to update to improve my skills, to learn some new technologies in terms of website development. And and we had like a few hours per day talking about that. I couldn't develop much. And the decision we made was, also we need to make a simple website. And this very simple website, we're going to use Google Ads. That was a decision. So here's a point about management is when you cannot afford to do many activities, you got to prioritize, right? The design of the website was pretty simple. She called mini site de visita, right? Small, short visitors site. And the purpose we had was to just take the users from the Google Ads, right? Take them to visit the web page. And we in a matter of 1 week we had amazing results. So I am, you know, setting the yellow marker here to make a point that about what we learned there in terms of management of use of resources. And it was to some extent a cold management. Not that you don't care. It's like you care, but you cannot create too much things, right? This is not like this is really a precise movement in a real world, right? Something like that. But then after that, right, of course, after all interesting discoveries in the sense of less is more, we move it towards I end up getting more and more involved in embracing or taking a leadership position, right? This is when things start to get a vision, to gain a vision. And today we can say that perhaps the job to be done is that, professionals, they hire tools to help them out with online publishing in one domain specific situation is to hire these tools for marketing goals and the development of their professional identity. So they do want more clients. In the case of psychologists, they want more clients. They want to continue to support, to help people. And that, of course, develops their identity, like the end goal there. Right? And okay, so the very beginning, just a simple site. That this is one of the cases we had. So we took people from Google Ads, and they end up here. And because of that, some of them, of course, contacted Vanessa. Okay. Now, here's when trouble starts, right? You got to put something there, right? With the vision. So then I had this idea. Well, what if this platform now you see things as a platform, but is this what if this platform could also generate automatically that art for a business card, digital or paper, it doesn't really matter, right? And some digital print services in Brazil are really big, and they can deliver quickly for you high quality business cards. And we end up ordering many times business cards matching the site designer. And then you go on. And what if when you share the URL for your website, that business card, the graphic appears automatically, right? The web can do that today, right? What if when you share over WhatsApp and these social tools, you can also see a preview of the professional identity business card there, right? And more. Why not more? What if we are an assistant? This serves this platform. We are an assistant that we can also generate graphic, social, postcards, graphics. So, for instance, when she writes something or she wants to quote, because psychologists, right, they love to read as well, and you want to quote, others, and then you can create these graphics, right? That's your social professional expression, right? Okay. And what if we can this system can give you your, the PDF brochure for your professional identity as PDF as well, right? So up to this point now, we are having a vision about something that the world solved, right? It's not new, right? Because this problem is solved at least in three ways, right? You can hire professionals and agencies, for example. You can do it yourself. There are millions of videos in YouTube with tips and etc. in terms of digital marketing needs, right? And then, of course, well, where we going, we don't need roads, right? So there are AI tools and all sorts of different tools now to help you out. So with others, with agencies, with yourself, and of course with the superpowers of AI tools, right? All right. So the early vision of for a platform is still here, you know. So for instance, in terms of marketing, of course, uh, with Meplex, the business or the channel, the assistant services is not the hero, right? The hero is the professional, right? And then you can think that the service is the assistant, like Yoda, like is the guide. And then the guide can tell you, oh, do you want to change your site theme to yellow because of Yellow September? Yellow September in Brazil is a movement. It's a social movement. Psychologists they get involved in different social movements for specific causes, right? What if do you want this is September? Do you want to change your site to the Yellow September social cause? Another case, let us make a digital postcard, and then she writes there with through the messaging service, right? And then the service gives you the digital graphic social postcard, and you can share in social networks, right? For example. All right. And hey, by the way, so one day she says, right? Hey, by the way, I don't know where it's my digital PDF business site in PDF, the brochure. Can you give me that, please? And then the assistant returns the PDF to you, right? There we are. You can share, or you can send to whoever you want to send. For example, a prospect, or share in a social network, right? And then more. There's more, right? And what if you have the situation of the assistant giving you reports, right? And by the way, when you share that social post graphic postcard in Facebook, you had visitors, and a number of them uh, reacted to the to your postcard. You got 20 likes. All right, so all of that, right? And this was a slow baking movement, okay, Weplex, because as you know, in the life of a founder, I think if I'm not mistaken, Brian Chesky from Airbnb once said that the major competitor of a startup is the founder's life, right? So sometimes you have this slow baking version going on, right? But today it's a little bit like this. Some of the values there in terms of the value proposition. Okay, this is the case of Larissa. Our clients and their prospects, because right, our client is, for instance, Larissa, a psychologist in Brazil, and her prospect users, our audience, they recognize, they understand how important it is for her professional Instagram account to have a bio or website in the bio, professional identity website in the bio. So, right, you can have movement through a social networks, but network, social network. But if you don't have a professional website in the bio, then something is missing there, right? So that's the place for what's going to happen next. So, and of course, from there, we need to send these users to a professional first initial experience that is professional. And Weplex today, we offer what you see on the right hand side. It's similar to the Linktree experience. Okay, we didn't start from there. but we embraced that because we're basically taking these users to the social, to a website, right? And that's a good experience. First experience taken to the top links that Larissa wants to promote, right? And then this is the key thing where we that aligns with that story, that we have exceptional landing pages with unbelievable results in terms of conversion. Okay, so this is of course it's a right, it's strong word to say unbelievable results, right? And it's better here in this reflection to make a point like this, that you see there is an additional comment there at the bottom of this page is most sites are dead, written poorly, forgotten, cluttered. Most developers or marketeers help clutter things even more. Objective landing pages works. Okay, that's a point there. Then we go back to this is why you get unbelievable results, okay, from landing pages. Because when the user enters these pages, right, these are not like mini business card pages. These are real landing pages, but they need structure and logic for that specific audience. And you see, when you visit the page, the first thing you see there, right, and this is Roosevelt's case in Brazil, and in this case, not a psychologist, psychoanalyst, psychoanalyst. Uh, it's what I call what you get there when you get to this page is what I call 3 seconds test, right? And so I tell my clients and partners, I say, you got 3 seconds, right? You need to pass that test. The user is going to give you 3 seconds. They expect to see your name, they expect to see a professional photo, and they expect to see your the statement of who you are, what you do. And of course from there they're going to give you 10 seconds more later. That's why we have like after that a technical bullets with the key information about what they do and who they are, and then from that there are different sections as part of the landing page, right? That's why unbelievable results can be achieved in terms of campaigns, and then so see it's a digital presence for the professional, and that involves the concept of having a website. It's through websites. That's how we do it because it's 24 by 7 website. And you see the link tree like experience with the what I call the bio website starts from there. We have key landing pages, use it for the campaigns. In addition to that, a space for articles as well. Okay, but that's one way to see it as a site platform, but it's not a site platform, right? Because what about the campaigns, right? So what we have is a management of your digital presence in the realm of the marketing goals of for professionals, starting with psychologists in Brazil. Okay, so that goes back right to the job to be done. Professionals they hire assistants or agencies, doesn't matter. They hire tools or systems or processes to get a job done. They do want clients through marketing and through the digital presence. Okay. Now talking about Weplex marketing to wrap this presentation. Okay. This is new. From 2025, we created a tool where we can tell stories about our clients through YouTube, through videos. So we make short mini videos showing real websites, real use cases. Okay, and these videos they support marketing, education, or our support channel. So for marketing, new people can see use cases and success stories. For education, we have small mini videos showing how to use the assistant, for instance, to make postcards, or how we how the professional can access the report about their marketing campaigns, right? And for support, of course, we can help them with the tools, how to use these channels and these assistant services, also with educational support videos, right? All right. In terms of evangelism, we have a channel where this is um, goes side by side with the videos, right? Because we have articles there with not exactly promoting Weplex services, but of course, right, it is connected. It is an evangelism channel. Then we talk about things, about asking for reviews. Should I ask or not? And of course, taking into consideration the ethics of the field, the domain, the profession. Right. We talk about pricing in terms of, the challenges of talking with a prospect about how much is a session. And there are many other articles. So the way we see our evangelism channel is we see like an ebook, okay? And of course, again, right, you have videos, you have the ebook, so all those pieces are going together, okay? To close this video, I want to give you an example about our credits page. So every single website in the Weplex platform, it's tells a little bit about Weplex story from the perspective of the professional. Okay, so if you go, the little about icon there, made with love by a professional name in Weplex, and you visit that page, it's basically, no, this is how I made my website with this assistant service and Weplex, etc. We really enjoy that metaphor because I think that I really like to see the about page instead going straight to Eplex platform, right? I enjoy the fact that the about page should be a place of accountability. What is this platform doing for me? That's how I see this page. There's much more that can be done there, but we have the beginnings of that idea there. Okay? So that's it. Thank you so much. I won't enter in the sales, the section of 2025 now. So that's the end of the presentation so far. To also be not so long, but this is Weplex, and I hope this is useful reflection about how to make a platform, about how to start for you and for us. Thank you very much.